Hi there, it's David John, the Resourceful Coach, and we're going to talk a little bit about today. It's probably the shot I get asked to solve. The biggest problem on a golf course is the slice. How do we get rid of a slice? And the big thing is about changing your habits. The way I look at it as a golf coach is that my job really is to change people's habits. They are doing something wrong, it's got ingrained in, and my job is to explain what they're doing wrong and then how do you put it right. So I call myself more a habit changer than really a golf coach. That's the key thing to understand. So what is a slice? A slicing shot is a golf ball that will miss the target to the right and it is curving to the right. And you'll probably see two types of flight. You will either see a ball that will start left of target and then severely curve and miss the target right, or you may even have a golf ball that looks like it starts pretty straight and then also curves away to the right. But the one consistent factor is the ball misses the target right. So that's sort of getting that image in your head, understanding what we're doing. And what we're going to talk about today is the two things that are causing the problem and why you are getting this result. And it will come down to just two things. Number one, we know if the golf ball is finishing right, your club face relative to the target, if that was a square club face there, the club face is now pointing that way. That's the one thing we definitely know is happening if you are a slicer of the golf ball. And we'll go through a number of things that could be causing that. The second thing, which amazingly, through experience of coaching for over 30 years, I think is the biggest cause of why we slice the ball, and that is what we call the path of the swing. And generally what golfers are doing when they're slicers of the golf ball, their path of their swing is going left, so the compensation is to open the face, and that's where you get the slicing type shot. So that's understanding what it is. And a lot of people just say, no, it's all about the club face. Yes, the club face is important. It is, in theory, the bit that's going to dictate where that ball ends up more than anything else. But what I've learned is if the big mechanical part of your swing, the path of your swing is wrong, you are compensating the club face. So that's what we're going to go through today. So let's just, again, look at what we're doing. If we're hitting a shot down the range here, and let's just put a piece of wood here just to give you an idea if that's a reasonably straight line where we go. I know I've got the ball slightly inside that, but when I'm swinging through the ball, what we call an out to in swing, my golf club is coming more from outside of this line here and coming across the ball. Now if you think about it, if you're swinging that way through the ball, your golf ball should go left. So what are you going to do? You're either going to hit the ball left or you are going to change one of two things. And because we all think we're swinging the correct mechanical part of the swing this way, correct, we alter the club face, we open the face. Now, if we open it a small amount, you might get what we call a fading shot. That's a ball that would start left and come back to target. Well, that's okay, that's playable. You can get the success you want. But what tends to happen is people over-exaggerate the movement with the club face, and that's what causes the problem. And that causes the ball to go way off to the right. So if I was doing a swing, we'll move that out of the way so I don't hit it. If I'm making a swing now and I am coming more this way into the ball, okay, I should hit it down. We're on the practice ground here, we've got the 9th hole there and the 7th hole there. That swing should hit it down the 9th hole, not down my practice ground. But if I compensate the club face and open it up, now the golf ball now has ended up going towards the 7th hole. Okay, and that ball's actually ended up on the 7th fairway. So that's all because I've got two faults. I've got two bad habits that I need to change. I've got a golf swing going through the ball to the left of target. I've now got an overcompensation with the club face, which now makes the ball curve dramatically to the right. And here's the problem with the slice. You lose power. Because as soon as you open that club face up, I've got my 21-degree hybrid here, that's a square club face. If I now open that face up, it's now become more of a 30-degree golf club. So I'm probably going to lose somewhere around about 15 to 20% of the distance, the speed that I've generated should give me. So you can see why this isn't a good shot. This is what we don't want. Okay, so what I found is golf coaching very much around get the club face correct. But I said, if your path is incorrect, that's where you're going to get the fault. So we're just going to go through some of the key, what I call faults that I see that cause the swing to go out to in. And then we'll go through the faults that may change the club face, but how you will compensate as you go through. So let's put that line back on the ground here, going where we're going, straight down the range there. Okay, and we're going to talk about the path of the swing. Okay, that's the first thing. And the path of the swing relative to the ball, which will be in the middle there, as it goes through the ball, let's put it straight across there, is going more at that angle. Okay, and you can see hopefully with that red plank of wood that I put down, you can see how that's going left of target. Now, what causes this to happen? Well, it could be one simple thing. If it is this one thing, wow, this is amazing. If you are this guy, we can solve this literally with the first thing. Are you aiming your body more with the red plank of wood? Look how far left I'm aiming. To then do that, I've got to compensate and open the club face up. If you are that golfer, hopefully all we've got to say to you, rather than point down the red line, is now get your toe line going parallel to where you want to hit the ball. Then you don't have to change the club. So that's the key thing there. It could be as simple as that. Now, amazingly in golf, what I find, there are often opposites that you think would solve the problem, but actually for me cause the problem. So this is the first one. You'll probably say, well, the best thing to do then, surely I should aim my feet that way. If I'm doing that, surely now I'm going to swing this way. Now, here's the thing. You have a mental picture in your mind of what you are doing, and you think you should always be swinging much more down the white plank of wood. So if you swing there along that line on the backswing, your brain will probably throw the club out here to try and get back on the white line. Now, you may end up on the white line, which sounds good, but actually your subconscious senses this loop in the swing, and it feels like you're coming down steeper, and what you'll end up doing is opening the club face. So unless you are going to work very, very hard on creating a big draw going this way, I find that doesn't work. So that's really important to understand. Get the feeling that as much as you can, get the stance neutral, and what I mean by that, orthodox, whatever you want to call it. So my feet are running parallel. You can see my toe line is the equal distance to those two planks of wood. Straight away, I'm giving myself 100% chance that I can swing the golf club down the line that I want to go. And that's the most important thing to start with. So that's just the most orthodox thing you can do. If you are a slice of the ball, do not aim further left, because you weren't deliberately trying to slice it. Now you know you've got to. So you will now deliberately change that. So alignment is the number one thing I see as the biggest fault. Number two, trying to generate more power. Golfers think more power I put into it, the better. And what they do is the expression we use is they hit from the top. And what we mean by that is they get here and they think they've got to accelerate now. And what happens is golfers get to the top, and in that acceleration, they unwind their body too early. Now look what's going to happen. Let's put our plank of wood going that way again. I'm in an orthodox setup, all looks good. But now what I've done is I've started to come down this way, too steep and across the line of the ball. Where am I going? Back down the 9th hole again. What have I got to do? I've got to compensate and open the club face. So there's the problem. The other thing that you generally find with that golfer is because he's making that big change of direction this way, he's coming down very steeply, and he can then get two other results of shot. You can get what we call a skying shot, which it feels like you go underneath the ball. Ball goes about 100 yards up in the air and only about 100 yards forward, and you're expecting 200 from this club. The other shot is you might come down steeply and bury the ball nearly into the ground. So you hit the top of the ball into the ground, and now it only goes 50, 60 yards along the ground. So the second thing I see is that energy where we're trying to hit it harder. So what we do is we get here and we're now trying to force it as we come down into the ball. So that's not going to work either. Okay. Now here's our third fault. And actually the target line here can be the biggest problem. Okay. What I see a lot of the time is people, when they reach the top of the backswing, they think, well, the sooner I hit the target line and swing down it, the straighter I'm going to hit the ball. But actually what happens is if you start hitting it back here, which is a good 2 feet from the ball, the momentum of your swing will probably go over the top of that and then start to come across again. You are too far on that line, but you will always feel like you're coming left. When you are swinging a golf club, because you are standing to the side of the ball, your club should be coming more, let's put the red plank, more mentally from there into the ball itself. I've got a T-peg there at the end of that red stick. I want to be more there. So now when I reach the point of impact, look where I am, I'm on the line. So if I'm on that line at impact, perfect. I don't need to change the club face. So all of these things we're showing you so far, all to do with the path of swing, are all incorrect, and then you're having to compensate with the club. And therein lies a massive problem. So we've looked at alignment, we've looked at trying to add more power, we've looked at the fact that we're trying to get it online, thinking, oh, that's technically good. And those three factors for me are probably the three biggest things that get people coming into the ball on the wrong arc, i.e. this, what we call out to in swing. Again, I'll keep going through it because I want to get you clear in your mind what's happening. You're going that way through the ball. The momentum now feels like, as I said, I'm going to hit it down the 9th hole. So what have I got to do with the club face? I've got to open it, and now the golf ball is going to end up curving dramatically to the right, and you're losing lots of energy on the shot. I think that's the important thing to understand as you go through. So that's the path and how that can be a factor. Now, we're going to come back to the path again once we go through our next thing, but this is going to influence more the club face. And what I see a lot of the time, it's a misinterpretation of the grip, is that people think that if the club face is opening, so it's going more that way, the more they put this hand over the top at the start, it will keep the club face closed. Amazingly, what happens is, there's my natural position of my hand, and that's where it should be for a neutral position. If I now bring that hand more over, so as a right-handed golfer, it looks like I brought that thumb more round to the left, where you think that would keep the forearm over, what it actually does to the club, I will come back to that position and now the club face is open. Now here's another problem. What happens is that habit of weakening that grip with the right hand, it now feels like the club face is going to open. So if I feel the face is going to be pointing that way, which way am I going to swing? That way, to compensate it. So you can see all these little habits don't work. Weaken the grip, you now feel like the club is going to be open. It now feels like it's pointing over there. What am I going to do with the swing? There, and now it looks square to where I want to go. But look where we are again. Another habit. That weak grip has made us go this way. So, two things we need to do. Neutral grip. Make sure that grip is correct so it doesn't feel like it's influencing that club face. If you wish to change the complete shape of shot, then you might, what we call, slightly strengthen the grip. And that means your hands, or one hand or both hands, are fractionally, slightly more, as I look at it as the right-handed golfer, a little bit more to the right, it will feel like it wants to close the face. But I'm always a big believer, get it neutral. So when you hold that club, make sure that club feels square in your hands. It doesn't feel like your forearms, your shoulders, everything there is going to change as you go through. So we've hit on a few points there already. Everything at the moment, as I said, the big habit I need to change in slices swings is initially we need to get rid of the big mechanical fault of swinging from this outside line. Okay, I may not have actually gone through this in the video, but our original white line, this side of the line is outside, this side is inside. Okay, we never want a golf swing to go outside onto the ball and then inside, because that's going to encourage the ball to go left. I have to open the face up. There's my slice. Unless you are deliberately trying to do it, we don't want to do it. Okay, what we want to do is get that swing more orthodox in here. Okay, that's the important thing as we go through that shot. So what I found, and this is the biggest thing, we focus very much here on the path of the swing. And I would say if I solve 90% of golfers, if I improve their path of swing, they sort the club face out for me. I don't actually have to do anything, because they start to realize, well, if I'm swinging that way into the ball, if I'm now coming more on the correct line, as we said, should be favoring that idea, if the swing now feels, and it isn't because you're going to swing on the line that we want to go, it feels as if I'm swinging a little bit to the right, well, what would your compensation be? Well, I better shut the face. Now, that's if you want to be the player who wants to hit the draw, that's what you can start to do. That's the important thing to understand. But as I said, the great thing is we're all quite clever if we understand what to do. And that's why it's so important. In my videos, I will go through things a number of times. And why that's important, because when you're told something for the first time, you very rarely take it all on and get everything right straight away. So by being encouraged to do it again, and it makes sense, what will happen is your brain will be ready. Oh, that's what I meant to do. That's what I got to do. So it will start to do it. So what do we want to do? This is the important thing. We want a golf swing, as we said, because we are standing to the side of the ball, and you can see how the planks are wood. The white line is where we want the ball to go. But as I'm coming into that ball, because I stand to the side of the ball, just look at my backswing. Where does it go? It doesn't go down the white plank, it's going down the red plank. Why? Because I'm standing over here. So as I get here, okay, the club now is over here. Look, the club is behind me. It's not on line. It's not in line with the camera coming down the line, is it? You don't want to be swinging out here. Do you see any tour player out here? No. Okay. So the worst thing you can do is to feel that when you get to the top here, that you're trying to get back onto that line. Now here's the really good news. And a lot of you watch my swing. If you are in an orthodox setup position, so very neutral there, you make a nice turn of backswing and you let your arms drop and just let your body naturally turn, you could probably at the most, if you really exaggerated that drop, you might swing 4 to 5 degrees in to out. That's the maximum you could do. Okay, the only way you could do it more than that is if you cheat. And what I mean by that is you get to the top and you flick your wrist behind you so the club's back here. Now you could be coming in 10, 12 degrees. But it's very, very hard to overdo the inside line from an orthodox position. But look at all the room I've got in front of me. If I get here, look how much room. I can throw that club over here. I've had people coming into that ball 40 degrees out to in. I've never had a person from an orthodox setup ever swing 40 degrees into out. It's never happened. It's impossible. Okay, you'd miss the golf ball. But from out here, people can do it. So if you can mentally think, when I get to the top, here, if I let my arms drop, just do a slow motion practice swing, let your arms drop, no rotation in your body, and then just let your body unwind, look at where you'd come back to the ball. Now, from there, look what would happen to the club face. From there, if I let the club rotate around that position, I'm in great shape. That's now giving me the chance. So let's see if we can do that with the ball. Okay, let's take these planks of wood out of the way. Okay. Oh, got a tee there already. And what I will do, let's put one of those planks in the way, actually, just to put the red one there, just as an alignment. So you can see on the video where I'm coming from in the swing. So there, I've got my feet an equal distance. Doesn't matter how close this bit of wood, as long as you look down at your feet and they're an equal distance from the plank of wood, and that's parallel to where you want to go, you're good. Now from there, as I swing, I want to feel my arms come down. Look at the club as it's making its way back to the ball. It's coming into the ball this way. Now, if I just let that rotate, where does the club go? It comes round this way. So it's never going to do this unless you take 4 or 5 steps down the range. Not going to happen. It's impossible. It can't happen. Okay? So it's bizarre when we look at it how many golfers get here and then go, I've got to hit it. Okay? I've got to really hit that ball. Okay? So let's just hit a ball now that's going to hit a straight ball. From there, all I'm thinking, neutral stance. I've got to the top, let it drop. And if I do that, I'm coming back on that slight inside line. From there, the club face can rotate. And all that's happened on that shot, and this is the important thing to understand, I've hit what we call a slight push there. So my ball has gone down the right edge of the practice ground. So what has actually happened? It didn't have any shape to the ball. So what I've done on that shot is I've come into the ball from that inside line, because I'm emphasizing it so much in the video, and my face was perfectly square to that line. Because my swing probably was 3 or 4 degrees right of target as I went through the ball, and the face was square, my ball has flown lovely 3 or 4 degrees right of the intended target. But that's okay, because guess what I could do if I can get used to that feeling, the same swing, And now, like we said before, I don't need to open the face up. I now need to feel the face is rotating with me. So I have the mental picture as I'm turning, the club is turning with me. There's a great chance now I'm going to hit a straight ball, maybe even a little bit of draw. So we've gone from slicing to drawing. Okay, so I've got to the position here. I'm thinking drop and then let it rotate from there. Nice and balanced through the ball. Okay, and that one a little bit better. But again, happy with that. There's no left to right curve on it. Now, I'm going to go through one fault that I see. And again, unfortunately, I see professionals teach this because they're so trying to get you away from this out to in swing, get here, that they make you swing far more on the backswing on the inside line. They think swing it in here because you'll swing it back. You won't. That's back to that idea we had at the very start, aim your body right. You will now feel you are so far on the inside that your brain will say, if I come back to the ball that way, I'm only going to hit it way over there. So what will you do? You'll come over the top and you're back to where you don't want to be. So really important that we get the emphasis to understand. If you think about it, how many times do you get told, even as a slicer, your practice swing looks really good? And it's because you're not trying to hit that ball. You probably swing up and you swing down. As simple as that. If you did that with the ball, you'd probably start the ball pretty straight because your major mechanics is good. And then it's just learning that club face position as you go through. But the importance is to make sure there's nothing that you do that is going to, if you are a slicer, that's going to promote the slice. And what I mean by that is don't aim left. Don't have a grip that's trying to keep the club face shut. Okay, because those factors straight away, what they're going to create is you are swinging left of target with an open face. You've now got the two problems that we're trying to get rid of. Be as neutral as you can. Always hear me say that. Be as neutral as you can over the shot. So parallel stance, grip is neutral. All I'm thinking is I'm swinging straight back. I'm letting my body turn. As I get there, I'm letting my arms drop. And if I let them drop, now what's going to happen is I can unwind down the line. And that one's gone straight down the middle of the practice ground. Okay, with my hybrid, a couple hundred yards, straight down the middle of the practice ground. And it's the thing people pick up on my swing. They go, well, you make it look so easy. And it's because I've always believed gravity's your best friend in a golf swing. And what I mean by that is let this drop. If you let it drop, your slice will disappear. The club now can rotate through the ball. As soon as you get to the top, and you now think you've got to hit it, and you start attacking here, here's that bad swing. Here's that steep, choppy swing. It's going to go under the ball, drag it left, open the face, cause the slice. It's going to create massive issues as you're hitting your shots. So the importance is to get that feeling. I'm going to keep going through it. From there, let those arms drop. From that position, now as the body naturally unwinds back to that ball, because you're clever, you will find your way back to that ball. I've seen people in amazing positions in their swing, and you think, how on earth are they going to hit the ball? They do. You'll find a way back to the ball. My job is to get you swinging the correct way into the ball. Keep it simple, because as I said, when you're not trying to hit the ball, I don't see anybody do a practice swing like this. And then when they go to the ball, wow, it's amazing how much it changes as it goes through. So get that feeling, get that sensation you're there. Feel like the club is going that way. If you sense you are swinging to the right, I'll guarantee you are not a slicer of the golf ball because you are swinging too much in to out, because you'll shut the face. You are a slicer because you are coming out to in. You've got to change that habit. That habit's got to go from there. Realise that's where you're going. Look at your divots. Look at, you might even embed the ball into the ground with a driver. Look where that mark's going. If it's going there, that's where the ball's going to go. So the importance is get it into that position. And I get excited when I see people change this, and then they suddenly go. I had a guy out here the other day just with an 8-iron, and he was hitting his 8-iron about 80 yards. By the end of the lesson, he's hit it 120. I mean, all his Christmas had come at once. He thought, wow, that's amazing. If I can now start doing that with a fairway wood, I can get 200 yards down the hole. That's changed his game. And that's the important thing. You've got to get that feeling. So lose that habit. If you are an open stance player, neutral. If you are that guy who gets to the top and thinks, I've got to try and attack, Get rid of that. Get that feeling of that dropping sensation coming into the ball. If you're the guy that thinks, well, I want to whip it on the inside, the chances are you're going to come more over the top. Go back to that neutral position. The more you're finding those positions, the better you're going to be at this game. That slice will disappear, but it's all about changing those habits. If you can't feel it yourself from these ideas that we've given you, go and have a lesson with your local club pro. Go through it. Say, look, I'm slicing the ball. And sort of find out which is the thing causing the biggest problem to you. Is it your path of swing, or is it your club face? Okay, is it your grip causing the issues with your club face? Is it your setup and thought power-wise, or your thought of your golf swing causing the issues there? And see what it is. And again, work with them to then understand what you've got to do, so you've got some exercises that you can go to the practice ground. I've given you the sensation today of this neutral stance. Get away from the picture. You're trying to swing it on the line that you want to go. Feel that you are swinging nicely from that, what we call slight inside line there. But look what happens to my golf swing. As I go through, look where the club finishes. It's over my left shoulder now. The momentum will go that way. By swinging there, as I said, I'm not going to end up here. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Get that feeling from there. Drop down. Let it rotate. And if you start to get more into that position, you will start to square that club up. You will have a lot more fun, because as I said, you are clever. But if that first habit of path is wrong, the club face is going to compensate, and that's going to be wrong as well. Now, you've probably seen that. I get quite excited when I go through these things, because for me, I want to improve your golf. That's the most important thing that we're looking at. But it's the simplicity of doing less and doing the fundamentals right that will help you to play this shot better. But realize, if you keep slicing the ball, there's bad habits, you've got to go and change them. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's all about eliminating that slice, changing your habits. Understand, for me, the path of the swing is the biggest fault, not the club face. You get the path right, you'll sort the club face out. Okay? You will make a massive difference. But the big mechanical look of your swing is causing the problem. And if you can solve that, change that habit, you'll start knocking those balls down the middle of your fairway. Longer shots, longer drives, you will have so much more fun. If you have enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to the channel. Please share it with your friends so they get a chance to look at it as well. There's a little bell there if you're a subscriber that gives you notifications. I have videos go out every Tuesday and Friday. Hopefully you'll watch a few of them. There's over 200 videos there now for you to watch. Please enjoy them.